Jai students, today we are going to study the structure of macroeconomics. So inside that we will be studying the circular flow of income. By structure of macroeconomy, we mean different sectors of an economy which exchange goods and services between each other and form a circular flow of income. Different sectors of macroeconomy are household sector, business sector, government sector, rest of the world sector and capital sector. National income is a circular flow between production, income and expenditure and between different sectors of structure of an economy. So it is in the form of structure. So you can see in a structure how the money or goods and services circulates. The expenditure of one sector becomes the income of the other sector, and supply of goods and services by one section of a community becomes the demand for the other. This process is of unending nature and forms the circular flow of income, expenditure and production. The meaning of circular flow of income. The circular flow of income involves two principles. First one, in any exchange process, the seller or producer receives the same amount what buyer or consumer spends, or one's expenditure is others' income. So first principle you can conclude that it's one expenditure is the other's income. Next, goods and services flow in one direction and money payments to acquire these flow in return direction, causing a circular flow. So goods and services is flowing in one direction and in return what they are getting money payments to acquire the flow in return. Okay, so you can see point 1 for factor services. What are the factor services? You know that factor services are land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. So you can see the two sectors. Which are the sectors? You have to study only the two sector model. Okay, so there are only two sectors here, producer sector, firm 1, and we can see household sector 2. It's just mentioning 1 and 2. You can mention 1 and 2, or otherwise just mention household or firm. Okay, firm, it's enough. So you can see that the factor services, land, labor, capital and entrepreneur, are being supplied from household to the producer sector, and you can see in return factor payments are received from producer sector to the household sector. What are the factor payments? Rent, wages, interest and profit. You can see here. Okay, so next, third is final goods. When we are giving factors payments of factor services, we get in return. You can see the same arrow going up. Okay, you just see factor services. What are the factor services? Land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Okay, so this arrow is going similarly up and third you can see in return, in final goods and services has been returned to the household, or we are purchasing the final goods and services from the firms or the producers. Okay, so that is going to the households. Okay, so next you can see just the factor payments. Okay, so factor payments which are received from the producer to that is households in the form of rent, wages, interest, profits has been going. You can see the same arrow going up, has been going and giving in return final consumption expenditure on goods and services to the producer sector. You had seen this. So hope you understood this. So just see the explanation to this structure. Household sector provides factor services like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur and gets wages, rent, interest, profit, etc. in return of their services from firm sector. Firm sector utilizing these services produces goods and services it to household sector in exchange of their services. Financial institutions are intermediaries between savers and investors. All saving by households and firms go to the financial market, and household sector and producer sector borrow from the financial sector. Okay, financial sector. So just see another term, financial sector or financial system or money market in between. So you can see the savings from the household is going to this financial sector. Then in return, borrowings have been taken from the financial sector to the household sector. You can see savings have been going to producer from producer sector to the financial sector, and in return you get what borrowings from the financial sector. Producers may also need borrowings for their livelihood. Okay, so next, types of circular flow. You can see that real flow and money flow you can see in this circular flow. So the real flow, the flow of factor services from households to firms, and corresponding flow of goods and services from firms to households is known as real flow. So in the form of goods that we are seeing or it is visible, so that is known as real flow. Okay, so the household provide factor services to firms, which in return provide goods and services to them as reward. Since there is an exchange of goods and services between two sectors in physical form, that is the term physical form, without involving money, therefore it is known as real flow. So next topic is money flow. Money flow can say refers to monetary payment from firms to household for their factor services, and in return monetary payments from households to firms against their goods and services. So that is known as money flow. Household sector gets monetary reward for their services in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit from firm sector, and spends it for obtaining various types of goods to satisfy their wants. Okay, so in return they are giving this money, and they are satisfying their wants from the firms. Okay, so it's depending upon the exchange. So next, see the real flow. Difference between the real flow and money flow. Meaning, it refers to flow of goods and services between different sectors of economy, also known as physical flow. Next is in the other part, you can say that it refers to monetary exchanges between different sectors for exchanging goods and services, also known as nominal flow. Next, a household supplies different factors to firms who in return provides finished goods and services. So in second part, you can see the household sector gets factor reward in the terms of wages and salaries, rent, interest, which spends for getting goods and services from households. Okay, getting goods and services from firm sector. So next, there may arise the problems of barter system between households and firms, and here there is no such inconvenience in money flow. Okay, as goods and services have been exchanged, it's an inconvenience, as you know that barter system, what are the problems faced. So it's depending upon barter system. So it's maybe the older days this may be following, or this system may have a problem of barter system. Which system? Real flow. Okay, so next you can say that just a chart showing this. So factor services have been given from household to the firms, and in return goods and services. Okay, so that is being seen. So now here So it may, you know that it may not be same as the services given cannot be calculated as goods have been exchanged in the real flow. So here you can see that from firms, factor payments have been given. What are the factor payments? Rent, money flow. In money flow, rent, wages, interest and profits. From households, what are the given? Consumption expenditure. So it's taking into the goods and services. Here first you can see real flow, goods and service, real flow, goods and services. So what in return the consumption expenditure has been given. Okay, so you can see, so that's known as what is consumption has been taking place and expenditure in terms of money has been given. Here goods and service. Okay, so next leakages and injections in the circular flow. So what is that? So injection, it acts as a booster to the process of income generation. So next portion of injection is just addition raise productive capacity of the economy. So what are the examples of injection? Injection means as injection we are giving injection in the hospitals also. So that is like what, giving something in addition. So that is known as injection, booster. Okay. So what are the examples? So addition, so public investment, private investment, foreign direct investment, exports, consumption expenditure by household, consumption expenditure by government. So these are the form of what injection to the our, that is money generation to our economy. So it's a form of injection. What are the leakages which are what leaking out? So it is you can see it has a negative impact on the process of production process. Such leakages reduce productivity capacity of an economy. Say example is saving taxation imports. So if we are importing from other country, we have to pay money. So it's a form of leakage. We are paying them. So next savings also we are keeping it, or we are keeping it somewhere. So we are not utilizing it. So it's also a leakage. Next taxes by the government. We have to pay taxes to the government. So it is also an leakage of our money. Next payments of old debts. So we are giving money. So we are giving money. So it's a leakage. Injection means we are getting money. So that's a injection. So next we can say that there are different phases or stages of circular flow of income. First is production phase. So it means creation of utility to satisfy human wants. So this job performed by a producer or a firm who takes an initiative with the motive of earning profit. He hires labor, land, capital and organization, and makes them payment in the form of rent, wages, salaries, interest and profits, etc. So this phase is to produce goods and services, and after selling them it generates income. Okay, so you know that by selling the goods, it in return it what rewards income to the production sector. So it's this phase is also known as income generating phase. Okay, so next is income phase. Producing firms earn revenue from the sales of goods and services produced by them. Whole of the earning is distributed between factors provided by household sector in the form of rent, wages, interest and profits. Such an income is classified into three parts. What are the compensation of employees? What are the compensation given by the government? They are what, wages and salaries, commissions, bonus, etc. So next operating surplus, profit, rent, royalty, etc. and mixed income of a self-employed. Thus production takes the shape of income of a household sector. This phase is also known as income distributing phase. So you can see here operating surplus, profit. You know what are the profit we get from a business. Okay, so next is rent. Rent means what, if a rental house has been, what income we get from them. So it's a rent. So what is royalty? Royalty means income. Royalty means what? It's a patent given to something that he must do this thing. So it's an operating surplus, or he is getting some what reward from his work. So it's a royalty. So he alone can do that work. So it's a royalty. Okay. So you can see what are the operating surplus, profit, rent, interest and royalty. So income, here we can see income of a self-employed who are fixed income means who are what self-employed. What are the incomes got by them? So it's a mixed income. It's maybe of auto rickshaw employees. So it's a self-employed. What we are calculating in what in a whole. So it's a self-employed. So thus production takes the shape of income of a household sector. This phase is also known as what income distributed phase. Okay, so income has been distributed. So, okay, so that is known as income phase. So next we are going to see expenditure phase. Household sector spends its income to satisfy unlimited and recurring human wants, and savings out of total income takes the shape of investment of capital goods, and that helps in generating the income of the economy, and expenditure becomes the income of producing sector that promotes the uninterrupted flow of income. This phase is known as income spend phase. So what expenditure, the term expenditure we had studied in the chapter of determination of income and employment. So you can say the terms which is related to this expenditure. So what are the terms which are related to this expenditure? You have seen private consumption expenditure, investment expenditure term, and government expenditure, and net export. So these are the components of aggregate demand, or we can say that aggregate expenditure. So that's the same thing we will be continuing in the calculation part also. So you have three methods as seen here. You have three methods on the basis of this term. So that is in product method, income method, and expenditure method. So next video we will be seeing the three methods in detail. Okay, thank you.